I got pregnant with my partner's brother's baby and waited for him to fight for me. He never did. No argument. No tears. No goodbye. Just an empty closet and a number that goes straight to voicemail. I've never felt so replaceable in my life. I'm going to tell you what I did. All of it. No softening. No excuses. No pretty language to make it sound less ugly than it is. Because I've spent the last 11 months telling myself a version of this story where I'm the victim and I'm tired of my own lies. I cheated on the best man I've ever known. With his brother. Got pregnant. Told him. Expected him to scream, cry, beg, fight, throw things, do something. He did nothing. Picked up his keys. Walked out. Never came back. Never called. Never texted. Changed his number? Emptied his closet while I was at work. Disappeared from my life like I was a chapter he finished reading and closed the book. And the thing that keeps me up at night. The thing I can't stop turning over in my head at 2 a.m. while his brother's baby kicks inside me. Is that I expected him to fight for me. After what I did. I genuinely expected this man to look at the woman who slept with his brother and got pregnant and say, "No. I'm not letting you go. We'll figure this out." That's how broken I am. Not because of what happened. Because of what I expected to happen after. Because the delusion didn't end with the affair. The delusion was thinking I was worth fighting for after I'd done the worst thing a person can do to someone they claim to love. My name is Danielle. I'm 28. The man I destroyed is named Eli. He's 31. We were together for 5 years. Lived together for 3. He was the kind of man you describe with boring words. Reliable. Steady. Consistent. Present. The kind of words that don't look good on dating profiles but mean everything when you're building a life. Eli didn't give me butterflies. He gave me peace. And I was too stupid to know the difference. Eli worked as a project engineer for a construction firm. Long hours. Physical work during the day. Paperwork at night. He'd come home smelling like concrete dust and sweat, and he'd still ask me how my day was before he sat down. He'd still make dinner on the nights I was tired. He'd still rub my feet on the couch while we watched whatever show I'd picked because he never cared what we watched. He just wanted to be next to me. He remembered things. My coffee order. My dentist appointments. The anniversary of my grandmother's death. He'd text me on that day every year. Thinking of you today. I know it's hard. 3 sentences. No emojis. No drama. Just acknowledgement. That was Eli. He didn't perform love. He just did it. Quietly. Daily. Without asking for credit. His brother's name is Tyler. 29. 2 years younger than Eli. Different in every way that matters. Tyler was loud where Eli was quiet. Spontaneous where Eli was planned. Reckless where Eli was careful. Tyler had this energy. This chaotic, magnetic, unpredictable energy that made every room he walked into feel like something was about to happen. He'd show up unannounced. He'd suggest road trips at midnight. He'd say things like life's too short to be boring, and I'd think, yeah, it is. I'm not blaming Tyler. I need to be clear about that. What happened is my fault. Mine. I made the choices. I opened the doors. I crossed the lines. Tyler didn't seduce me. He was just there. Being Tyler. And I was bored. That's the truth I've been avoiding for 11 months. I wasn't neglected. I wasn't unloved. I wasn't mistreated. I was bored. Eli gave me everything a person could need, and I wanted more because I confused need with want and stability with stagnation and peace with boredom. That confusion cost me everything. Tyler started coming around more about 8 months before I got pregnant. He'd lost his apartment. Needed a place to crash. Eli said yes immediately. Because that's what Eli does. His brother needs something. He provides it. No questions. No conditions. No hesitation. He gave Tyler the spare room. Bought extra groceries. Told me he's family, it'll be temporary. Temporary. The most dangerous word in the English language. 2 weeks in, Tyler and I started talking. Not about anything deep at first. Just kitchen conversations. Morning coffee conversations. He'd be up when Eli left for work at 6 a.m. and I didn't leave until 9. 3 hours every morning. Just us. He'd make me laugh. He'd tell stories about his disasters. Bad jobs. Bad relationships. Bad decisions he'd somehow turned into comedy. He was entertaining. And Eli was at work. And the apartment was quiet until Tyler filled it. I know what you're thinking. You saw it coming before I did. Or maybe I saw it too and pretended I didn't. The morning conversations got longer. Then they moved to the couch. Then Tyler started texting me during the day. Stupid stuff. Memes. Jokes. Inside references to things we talked about that morning. Things Eli wasn't part of. A private language building between me and his brother while Eli poured concrete and did paperwork and came home tired and asked me how my day was. Nothing physical happened for 2 months. 2 months of emotional escalation. 2 months of me telling myself we're just friends, he's Eli's brother, this is normal. 2 months of a slow, deliberate walk toward a cliff I could see the entire time and chose not to stop. It happened on a Wednesday. Eli was working late. Tyler and I were on the couch, watching a movie. He put his hand on my knee. I didn't move it. He looked at me. I looked at him. And I made a choice. Not a mistake. Not an accident. Not something that just happened. A choice. I chose to cross the line. I chose it with full knowledge of what it meant and who it would hurt and what it would cost. I chose it anyway. The affair lasted 4 months. 4 months of Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings and any hour Eli wasn't home. 4 months of lying to a man who trusted me so completely that it never occurred to him to check. 4 months of sitting across from Eli at dinner with his brother's touch still on my skin and smiling and saying pass the salt, how was your day and I love you. I love you. I said that to Eli during the affair. Multiple times. Looked him in the eyes and said those words while actively betraying him. I don't know what kind of person does that. Actually I do. I'm that kind of person. That's the thing I have to live with. Tyler didn't love me. I need to state that because it matters. I thought he did. During the affair I thought this was real, this was deep, this was something that couldn't be denied. He said things. You're different. I can't stop thinking about you. Eli doesn't appreciate you. The greatest hits of every affair partner since the beginning of time. Phrases designed to make the person hearing them feel special and chosen and seen. And I ate them up. Every word. Because Eli's love was quiet and Tyler's words were loud and I couldn't tell the difference between volume and value. The pregnancy. I missed my period by 2 weeks. Bought a test. Positive. Sat in the bathroom staring at it. Did the math. The timing. It could have been Eli's. We were still sleeping together. But I knew. The same way you know things before you confirm them. The same way your body tells you the truth before your brain catches up. I knew it was Tyler's. I told Tyler first. At his apartment. He'd moved out a month earlier. Got a new place. The affair continued. I said, I'm pregnant. I think it's yours. His face. I'll describe it because it's important. He didn't look happy. He didn't look scared. He looked inconvenienced. Like I told him there was traffic on his commute. A slight frown. A deep breath. Then, what are you going to do? Not what are we going to do? What are you going to do? He separated himself from the situation in one pronoun. I said, I don't know. I need to tell Eli. He said, yeah. That's going to be rough. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. Like I was updating him about a work meeting. Not telling him his brother's life was about to be destroyed. That's when the first crack appeared. Not in the delusion about Eli. In the delusion about Tyler. That answer. That flatness. That complete absence of partnership or responsibility or even basic concern. That was Tyler showing me who he was. Who he'd always been. The fun one. The spontaneous one. The one who shows up for the excitement and disappears for the consequences. But I was pregnant and scared and didn't have time to process what Tyler's reaction meant. I had to tell Eli. I planned it. Which is sick. I planned how to tell my partner I was pregnant with his brother's baby the way you'd plan a presentation. I made his favorite dinner. Chicken parmesan. Set the table nice. Lit a candle. Like that would help. Like garlic bread and candlelight would soften the fact that his brother's baby was growing inside the woman sitting across from him. He came home. Tired. Dusty. Smiled when he saw dinner. Said, what's the occasion? I said, I need to talk to you about something. He sat down. Gave me his attention. Full. Undivided. The way he always gave me his attention. Like whatever I was about to say was the most important thing in the world. I said, I'm pregnant. His face lit up. For about 3 seconds. The most genuine, unguarded, pure joy I've ever seen on a human face. He started to stand. Started to come around the table. Started to reach for me. I said, it's not yours. It's Tyler's. He stopped. Everything stopped. The joy didn't fade. It was deleted. Like someone hit a button and erased it. His face went from the happiest I'd ever seen it to something I can't describe. Not anger. Not sadness. Absence. Like the person behind his eyes just left the building. He stood there. Half standing. Hands at his sides. Looking at me. Through me. Past me. Somewhere I couldn't follow. I started talking. Filling the silence. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I still love you. We can work through this. I'll do anything. Therapy. Whatever you need. Please just say something. He didn't say something. He picked up his keys from the counter. Walked to the front door. Opened it. Walked out. No words. No slam. No backward glance. Just a man walking through a door and disappearing. I called him. 17 times that night. Voicemail. Everyone. Texted walls of paragraphs. Read receipts off. I sat on the kitchen floor next to the chicken parmesan that was getting cold on the table and the candle that was still burning, and I cried until I couldn't breathe. Not because I was sorry. Not yet. Because he didn't fight for me. He was supposed to fight. He was supposed to yell and throw things and eventually pull me close and say, "We'll get through this." That's what love does. Right? Love fights. Love doesn't just walk out a door without a word. Wrong. Love does walk out a door. Love walks out when it's been betrayed beyond repair. Love walks out because staying would require accepting something no self-respecting person should accept. Eli didn't fight because there was nothing to fight for. I burned the thing. There was nothing left to save. He came back the next day. While I was at work. I know because I came home to an empty closet. His clothes. Gone. His shoes. Gone. His books. Gone. The photo of his mother on the nightstand. Gone. His razor, his toothbrush, his deodorant. All gone. Surgically removed. Like he'd planned it. Like he'd spent the whole night figuring out exactly what was his and came back to claim it with the precision of a man who would never set foot in this apartment again. He left everything that was ours. The couch. The dishes. The art on the walls. He only took what was his. Clean. Exact. Final. No note. No forwarding address. No explanation needed. I called his phone that night. The number you have reached is no longer in service. Changed it. Overnight. Erased my access to him completely. I called Tyler. He answered. Sounded nervous. He said, "Eli called me." I said, "What did he say?" He said, "Nothing. Called me." I answered. He breathed for about 5 seconds. Then hung up. That's it. 5 seconds of breathing. That was Eli's goodbye to his brother. Not words. Not anger. Just the sound of a man exhaling the last connection he had to someone he used to love. Then silence. Tyler said, "I think we should lay low for a while." Lay low. I'm pregnant with his baby. His brother just disappeared. And Tyler wants to lay low. Like this was a PR problem. Like we just needed to wait for the news cycle to change. I said, "Tyler, I'm having your baby. We need to figure this out." He said, "I know. I just need some time to process." Time to process. The man who didn't need time to process sleeping with his brother's girlfriend needed time to process the consequences. That was the last real conversation I had with Tyler. After that, texts got shorter. Calls got less frequent. He stopped answering on the first ring. Then the second. Then not at all. Within 3 weeks Tyler was gone. Not moved away. Just gone. Stopped responding. Stopped showing up. Stopped existing as a participant in the situation he helped create. I was pregnant. Alone. The man I loved had vanished. The man who got me pregnant had vanished. I was sitting in an apartment I couldn't afford alone with the candles still on the kitchen table because I couldn't bring myself to move it. Eli's mother called me once. Gloria. A woman who'd treated me like a daughter for 5 years. She said 7 words. "You broke my son. Don't call here." Click. Done. Eli's best friend, Travis, blocked me on everything before I could even reach out. Mutual friends chose sides. All of them chose Eli. Every single one. Not because I asked them to choose. Because the choice was obvious. You don't side with the person who cheated with her partner's brother. There's no version of that story where you're the sympathetic character. I moved in with my mother. Couldn't afford the apartment alone. She asked what happened. I told her. She listened. Quiet. Then she said, "What did you think was going to happen, Danielle?" Not mean. Not angry. Just tired. tired of a mother who knows her daughter made a catastrophic mistake and there's nothing to do except watch the aftermath. I said, I thought he'd fight for me. She said, why would he fight for someone who didn't fight for him? That sentence. That one sentence from my mother. That's the one that finally cracked through the delusion. Why would he fight for someone who didn't fight for him? Because that's what I'd done. For 4 months I didn't fight for Eli. I didn't fight for our relationship. I didn't fight against the attraction to Tyler. I didn't fight the morning conversations or the couch proximity or the Wednesday nights. I surrendered to every temptation without resistance and then expected the man I'd surrendered on to put up the fight I never did. The entitlement of that. The audacity. I'm disgusted by my own expectations. My friends. Let me tell you about my friends. Because every person who self-destructs has an audience and my audience had opinions. I had 4 close girlfriends. 2 of them knew about Tyler. Not the whole time. About 2 months and I told Bria and Camille because I was bursting and needed to tell someone. Bria said, girl, what are you doing? Camille said, is the sex at least good? That tells you everything about who was a real friend and who was entertainment. Bria tried to talk me out of it. Multiple times. She said, Eli is the best thing you've got. Don't do this. I said, I can't help it. She said, you can. You're choosing not to. There's a difference. She was right. I didn't listen. After everything blew up, Bria called me. She said, I told you. I told you this would happen. I'm sorry you're hurting, but I told you. She was right and I deserved to hear it and I hated hearing it. Camille went quiet. Stopped texting. Stopped calling. Found out 2 months later through Instagram that she'd started hanging out with Eli's friend group. There's a photo of her at a barbecue with Travis and some other people I recognized. She jumped ships. Went from being my friend to being friends with the people who rightfully hated me. I can't even be mad. She watched me destroy my relationship and decided she didn't want to be associated with the wreckage. Fair. The other 2 friends, Keisha and Dawn, found out after the fact. Keisha was sympathetic but distant. She said, I love you but I can't co-sign what you did. We can still be friends but I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's okay. I respected that. Dawn said nothing. Literally nothing. Read my text explaining what happened and never responded. We haven't spoken since. 4 friends before the affair. 1 who tried to warn me. 1 who enabled me. 2 who disappeared. That's the math of self-destruction. You don't just lose your partner. You lose the ecosystem. I found out through Bria, about 3 months after Eli left, that he was okay. She'd heard from someone who knew someone. He'd moved cities. New job. Same field. She said, he's not on social media anymore. Changed his number? Started completely fresh. She said someone told her he looked good. Rested. Like a weight had been lifted. A weight had been lifted. Me. I was the weight. I also found out about Tyler. The full picture. Because after he ghosted me I started asking around and the story that came back made me want to put my fist through a wall. Tyler had done this before. Not with a brother's girlfriend. But the pattern. The charm. The chaos. The pursuit. The disappearance. A woman named Jade, his ex from 2 years ago, reached out to me after she heard what happened through mutual people. She said, he did the same thing to me. Told me everything I wanted to hear. Made me feel like the center of the universe. Then the second things got real he vanished. Said he needed space. Stopped returning calls. She said, Tyler doesn't want people. He wants attention. And once the attention gets complicated, he's gone. She was right. Every word she said matched my experience perfectly. Tyler didn't fall for me. He performed falling for me. And the performance ended the moment a real consequence showed up. A pregnancy. A baby. Responsibility. Those words aren't in Tyler's vocabulary. He only speaks in beginnings. He doesn't know the language of staying. The baby. I'm 8 months now. A boy. Tyler knows. I sent him the information through a certified letter because he stopped answering everything else. He responded through a lawyer. Acknowledged paternity. Agreed to minimum child support. Didn't request visitation. Didn't ask the baby's name. Didn't ask for a photo. Signed a document and mailed a check. That's his fatherhood? A signature and a monthly payment. The man who said you're different and I can't stop thinking about you can't be bothered to ask what his son looks like. The butterflies were fake. The excitement was fake. The connection I thought we had was 2 selfish people using each other for the worst possible reasons and calling it something it never was. I think about Eli every day. Not in the romantic way. Not I miss him and want him back. I don't have the right to want him back. I think about him in the way you think about a house you burned down. Looking at the empty lot. Remembering what stood there. Knowing you're the one who lit the match. I think about the way he asked how my day was. Every single day. Without fail. I think about the text on my grandmother's death anniversary. Thinking of you. I know it's hard. I think about the foot rubs on the couch. The coffee he made me every morning even though he didn't drink coffee. He bought a coffee maker for me. Kept it stocked for me. Made it for me. Never drank a cup himself. He bought a coffee maker he never used because the woman he loved liked coffee. And that woman slept with his brother in their bed while he was at work. That's who I am. That's what I did. And the worst part isn't the guilt. The worst part is knowing that somewhere out there, Eli is living his life without me, and he's probably fine. Probably more than fine. Probably lighter. Probably freer. Probably waking up every morning without the weight of a partner who was lying to him for 4 months. His silence told me everything his words never needed to. He didn't fight for me because I wasn't worth the fight. Not anymore. Maybe I was once. Before Tyler. Before the couch. Before the Wednesday nights. Before I looked at a quiet, steady, reliable man and decided he was boring. He wasn't boring. He was safe. And I didn't deserve the safety. I'm 28. I live with my mother. I'm 8 months pregnant with a baby whose father sends checks and nothing else. I have a job that pays the bills. I have a therapist who's helping me understand why I blew up my life for chaos. I have the permanent knowledge that I had a man who bought a coffee maker he never used just because I liked coffee and I traded him for a man who couldn't even ask what I'm naming his son. My therapist, Dr. Rao, asked me in our 3rd session, describe Eli's love in 1 word. I said, boring. She said, try again. I thought about it. I said, safe. She said, try 1 more time. I thought harder. I said, unconditional. She said, and Tyler? I said, exciting. She said, try again. I said, addictive. She said, 1 more time. I said, fake. She let that sit. Then she said, you traded unconditional for fake. And the fake didn't even last. Traded unconditional for fake. I think about that every day. She also asked me something that wrecked me. She said, when you imagine Eli fighting for you, what exactly did you picture? I said, I pictured him yelling. Crying. Saying he loved me. Saying we could work through it. Begging me to stay. She said, so you wanted the man you betrayed to perform his pain for you. You wanted a show. You wanted proof that his love was big enough to survive what you did. Not because you needed the relationship. Because you needed the validation. I couldn't respond. Because she was exactly right. I didn't want Eli to fight for me because I loved him. I wanted him to fight for me because I needed to know I was worth fighting for. His silence told me I wasn't. And that's the wound that won't close. I should have had a baby shower by now. My mother mentioned it. She said, do you want to do something small? I said, who would come? She went quiet. Because the answer is almost nobody. Bria would come. My mom. Maybe a cousin. That's it. The rest of my support system evaporated when the truth came out. You don't get a baby shower when the baby's existence is the proof of your worst decision. You don't get balloons and cake and onesies when every person in the room would be thinking about the man you did this to. So no shower. No celebration. Just a crib my mother ordered from Amazon and a stack of secondhand clothes from a consignment store and a nursery that's really just a corner of my childhood bedroom with a changing pad on the dresser. That's what I traded Eli's love for. A corner. A changing pad. A monthly check from a man who's never going to show up. Eli, if you ever see this. You won't. You've probably blocked every corner of the internet that connects to me. But if somehow these words reach you. You were right to leave. You were right not to fight. You were right to take your clothes and your books and the photo of your mother and walk out without a word. Because I didn't deserve words. I didn't deserve an argument. I didn't deserve the energy it would have taken to yell at me. You gave me 5 years of showing up. I gave you 4 months of betrayal. And when it was over, you didn't owe me a single syllable. The silence was the only honest thing left between us. And it was yours to give. I just wish I hadn't been the reason you had to give it. The chicken parmesan is still in the fridge. Not the same one. I made it again last week. By accident. Muscle memory. Didn't realize what I was cooking until it was in the oven, and then I stood in the kitchen and stared at it and remembered his face when he saw the table set. Before I told him. Those 3 seconds of joy. The purest happiness I've ever created in another person. Followed immediately by the worst pain I've ever caused. 3 seconds of joy. 4 months of lies. 5 years of love. And a door that closed so quietly I almost didn't hear it. Almost.